So how's everyone doing? Good. What'd everyone think?
That was the shit!
Yeah! That was a vastly different film than I thought we were going to watch.
How are y'all doing tonight?
I already asked them. They don't want to answer again.
No, they have to. It's like for every single person that comes on stage. It's got to warm up the crowd a bit.
Yeah.
How are y'all doing tonight?
All
right, guys. Yeah, just like he said, this was on a whole nother level. So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, hit me.
Do we have any taglines for this film? This is weak, right?
Yeah, we have one, and it's exactly just like this movie presents itself to be. Like it just presents it and goes, yeah, I'm owning exactly what I am. It is, they charge an arm and a leg. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's good. It's setting everyone up for the expectations of this film. There we go. That's the movie we just watched. All right.
Yeah. So, with a budget of $23 million or $50 million, there's actually two reports there. 7 scenes of full frontal nudity, 4 chainsaw dismemberments, 4 bloodbaths, baseball bat bludgeoning, chainsaw dueling with 4 deaths in total, and a 5.3 on IMDb and a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 1988's Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Let's make some noise and let's drop some bombs.
There we go.
What is this, some ancient chainsaw worshipping cult?
Actually, that's just what it is.
Oh, yeah? What do you do, pray to Black and Decker?
What's in this suitcase?
24 inches of fun.
Huh, the girls.
Yeah, these high-powered vacuum pumps.
You could have knocked me over with a pubic hair.
I'm going to fuck your brains out.
I didn't like the sound of that.
Tonight, oh Horace, we offer you a new disciple, a fresh, untouched flower to adorn the crown of the gods. We, your humble slaves, offer you the virgin dance of the double chainsaws.
I was a little too early.
If anybody is unfamiliar with how we do the show, we basically go like bullet point for bullet point. We go plot point for plot point. If there's anything that you think that we haven't covered, that's the end of the show. We'll reach out to you guys, and you can literally just come up to the microphone and be like, "Yo, what was up with that?" And like we'll go into it.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of "What's up with that" in this entire movie.
What's up with that? So yeah, we're first introduced to this, and okay, number one, it's 1988 for this film. So I'm just going to put a disclaimer at the front of this. I'm going to use the word hooker a lot.
It is in the title, so
right.
I think we're safe.
That's the one
on
I'm
that
gonna
one.
use.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, unless it was a line that he said, I'm not going to say hose. I'm not going to say hors d'oeuvres. But yeah, just to let you know, this is going to be a less PC one. I'll tell you that right off the bat.
We are going to use the word chainsaw. We won't use buzzsaw or anything like that.
Did you know in the UK version they weren't allowed to use chainsaw?
Yeah, the movie was just titled Hollywood Hookers.
They were like,
which was like,
yeah, we know how that goes.
Don't put chainsaw in the title. That's offensive, but just leave the Hollywood Hookers. And then apparently they put the big chainsaw silhouette in the center of it to be like, okay, people get it now. Now it's not a porno.
I don't think they would have. You just put Hollywood Hookers with that. It just seems like something's missing.
It's like a jagged penis.
So, we're immediately introduced to this hooker who starts off the film. What? Does it seem uncomfortable when I'm saying it now?
The way you're saying it, yeah.
Hooker. And she kicks off the film, right? But none of the information that she gives us is pretty much not important whatsoever.
Except that her name is Mercedes.
That's not Mercedes.
Oh, that's not. That's right.
No.
Well, that is her.
No, Mercedes is the one with like probably 100 diseases.
Oh shit, that's right. We're on the wrong one. Yeah, yes. The one being interviewed by the police.
Right, is the one that's in chains later.
Yes.
Remember?
I thought they were the same person. I fucked up big time. I was confused for like 30 minutes in the movie.
To be fair, they all looked pretty much the same to me.
It's the hair.
Yeah,
it really is the
80s
hair.
Haircut. So, I'm never a huge fan of credits that just go on with no entertainment value. Like as if somebody was just like, hey, I wrote some like rockabilly. Could you just put it into this? And he's like, I don't have anything but the credits to put your song to, and that's what we listened to for like 3 minutes.
It was
it just went on.
It was the director's, the next door neighbor's kid who made rockabilly music. He's like, hey, I heard you're making a movie. Could you help me out and put my kid's music in it? It's real good. It's 3 minutes long though. I need the whole song or nothing. It's got to be wholesale or I lose.
Right. So we are introduced to Mercedes.
Yes.
And Mercedes is kind of like head hooker. Like, I'm not quite sure, but like she seems to have a more prominent role in this film, and seems to be kind of like in charge of the others, right? It seems that way.
Yeah, she's the only one who really gets any character development other than Caveman Hooker that we meet later in the film, who just grunts throughout the rest of it.
Yeah. So she has a habit of like dipping her fingers in everything.
That's fucking gross. Hey, lady, don't dip your fingers in my drink.
I'm sorry. Like, even if I am on the prowl, like, I don't know. I don't know anything about hiring a sex worker.
There you go.
I won't say it that time. But I'm pretty sure that if somebody approached me in a bar and was just like, bloop, into my drink, the last thing I'm going to be doing is like, yeah, how much?
Thanks, my drink's ruined. I need a new one. You've been touching this bar all night.
No, I was asking you, how much do you got? Because you got to pay for the drink that you just destroyed.
I also like that the John that she meets at this bar never says anything about what he does, but she's just like, yeah, construction worker. And he's like, spot on. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's me. Couldn't you tell from the way I look?
Yeah, it's like,
so she recommends that he needs some TFC. Some tender fucking care.
Who here was even surprised that was the shortened version of that? As soon as she said TFC, I was like, oh, okay, all right. I see where we're going with this movie.
I too like chicken.
Stupid. That was good.
I paid $200 to eat chicken with this woman. It was delightful. So, Mercedes invites him back to her house by convincing this John that she has financing.
Yeah. Hey, if you've got to finance the sex that you're paying for, it's time to reevaluate your finances. Because I don't want to put that on layaway.
Hey, don't worry about it. You know, we take Diners Club, we take JCPenney. There's many different forms.
We don't accept the Macy's card, though. I'm sorry.
He's like, I have a Macy's card, sir. So apparently you pound a bucket full of nails.
Yeah. Anyone else think she was going to say bucket full of dicks? Because I was really on it there for a second. I was like, again, they set us up for what the type of movie it was going to be, and my expectations kept being subverted by them not going for like the easiest thing they could.
I mean, but at the same time, this movie just like, for being called Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, it just has so much dialogue in it. It has so much like words. Like,
that is what's in dialogue. Yes, it's just exposition followed by boobs followed by exposition, then a chainsaw occasionally.
You know, like I seen Roger Rabbit, and Eddie never went on as long as this guy does, and I still got that whole movie. and that was a fantasy. This is reality.
What if
This happened, guys? Y'all don't know. Most of you are not from here. This is based on a true story.
What if Jessica Rabbit showed up in this movie, though?
Oh shit!
He does do the thing that like Eddie does at the Toon review with like the cigarette hanging out of his mouth and like almost turns into a wolf when she's dancing on that table.
I'm not bad. They've just gone to digital. No, you didn't like that one?
I like that one. That was good.
So now we're introduced to the way that they kill, right? This cult will kill. We don't know they're a cult yet, but Mercedes proceeds to basically hang up things in a room like she's Christian Bale in American Psycho.
Yes, but she's covering everything that matters, and that's the Velvet Elvis painting that she has in her room, which is sick as fuck, honestly.
She's like, hey, do you like Huey Lewis in the news? And
do you have a small dog, like a Shih Tzu or something?
And then she proceeds to just dismember this guy, which I mean, it's great. Like, she's getting buckets of blood poured on her. It's a lot of fun. But I have to ask you, like, Tyler, how many fingers are inside a human body? Because they just keep flying out of this guy.
The guy keeps pulling out other hands to defend himself as he's like being chopped to bits. There's also at one point you see a foot fly by 3 times. I counted it. And I was like, okay, all right, this is a mutant that she's cutting up. She's keeping our streets clean. And then a chicken bone.
Just a person from society.
Yeah, one of those.
It's in Hollywood.
Yeah, the mud people. But and then you have a chicken bone thrown at her at one point, just a little tiny bone, and it like bounces off her forehead, and she's like,
"That's right." I did write in my notes. I do like when I just write like my thought out loud, and I go, "Are we actually going to see this guy's dick? Because I am not down." Because she's walking around full frontal nudity.
That's what I mentioned. That there was
to a point where I'm getting uncomfortable, where I'm like, damn it, like I don't know how far this movie's gonna go yet.
Yeah,
right? But I kind of like that about this, is that like the entire time you kind of never know how far a scene will go.
Yeah,
right.
Just wait till Eli Roth remakes this in 3 years, and you will see the penis being chainsawed in half. The whole, and that's the only thing you will see in the scene.
So she hacks this guy up, and then we're introduced to Jack, right? Like formally introduced, right? And what I find interesting about Jack is that first he drinks constantly.
Yeah,
right? With the is that his sergeant?
He's a private detective.
Right, he's a private eye, right?
Yes.
Because he's hired by Samantha's mother to go find Samantha.
Yes.
Right?
He's just Eddie Valiant. That's all he is.
That's true.
Yeah. A Toon killed his brother, too.
Yeah. Now, I do have a question. Did anybody else wonder, like, how the hell are these girls getting away with chainsaw murders? Like, the neighbors aren't calling and being like, there's a chainsaw at 2 a.m.
Hey, so you asked me that in the middle of the movie, and I was like, I'll save this for when we're, like, talking. But if anyone's familiar with, like, Jeffrey Dahmer, he cut people up in his apartment with a chainsaw, and his neighbors were just like, oh, Jeffrey's wild. So I think they got away with it just fine in that hotel room.
I guess Jeffrey's just making another desktop cabinet. Oh, Jeffrey, he's got so many customers. It's fine. They're hard drinking in the afternoon. That detective, and that police sergeant scene just goes on way too long. They're just back and forth. Like, I was like, where's this going? Am I going to get any new information? Because that's the thing, is every time Jack speaks, I feel like I already got it.
Yeah, he's just like, he's like, as if you stopped paying attention after the tits, here's what happened in the previous scene. It's just like, I'll catch you up. All
right, Joe Bob fans, here's the next part.
Yeah. I really enjoy the costume design in this film of just like the overworked homicide detective who's just like, what is that shitty white silk tie he's wearing that he got from Spirit the entire time throughout this film, and the unbuttoned blue shirt. None of his outfit goes together whatsoever.
No. What I also find interesting about the police station is the forensic cubicle.
Yeah, that's where they keep the dead bodies. This is also where you call out if you're sick.
I'd like you to introduce you to the two detectives working this department. They're also bad guy extras in Die Hard. Like they just like one had that like ginger beard and like that like 80s swept back like kind of Roadhouse Swayze.
Yeah,
right?
almost.
And the other guy's just like, I'm the silent one.
I'm the one you need to watch out for.
So yeah, we're introduced to the forensics cubicle. They find 3 fingers, right? And I'm like, all right, so what? like we're in LA. Like, dude, the guy from Titwolf, right? The vendor from yesterday was telling us, or was it? No, it wasn't. It was someone here. Someone here was telling us the other day about going into like the city morgue, and there's like 400 people just like stacked on a gurney, like right there. Oh. Yeah.
What a heartfelt story for all the people not from LA in the area in the room right now.
and listening across the airwaves.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to go see one of those guys' last shows.
But my point being is that like they found 3 fingers. They're like, yep, must be the chainsaw serial killers.
Again, talking about how not too sure how far the movie was going to go, I did half expect a penis to fall out of the bag. And when he dumped it out, it's like, oh, that's a weird looking finger. Like, or when they were like, there's something else in here, I was like, oh, it's the dick. Come on, give it to us.
So we get a peek of Jack's home life, right? Where he may or may not drug his girlfriend. I'm not quite sure. She would not move off of him.
She's knocked the fuck out. Jesus Christ.
Because Jack fucks. She's sleepy.
Yeah, it's so funny because he's simultaneously so concerned about waking her up and simultaneously like, fuck her, I'm gonna get my cigarettes.
Right? In which he proceeds to like light evidence that he stole from the scene of a crime.
Like, I wasn't at the scene of the crime. There was actually 10 matches in that matchbook and now there's 9. That's my alibi and I'm sticking to it. But on the whole like not wanting to disturb her and then disturb her because someone else near me was like, what the fuck? He like lays on top of her when he comes back over. He's like crushing her head from behind his back. It's like, yeah, don't breathe.
Yeah, baby, not gonna be home tonight. Oh, you're dead.
Sick.
Cool. And that's when you turned to me and went, Jack is cool as fuck. Because like he basically, does anybody recall what he says in this moment to get out of this? Like, because
oh no, he's narrating. He's saying, oh yeah, I told her I had to leave and she told me to stay behind with her because she didn't want me going out there, but I just told her I loved her and I had to go, and she's like flipping him off and like, Jack, fuck you, and it's like, true love right there.
That's you in a couple years.
Yeah, buddy. That's what we all hope for.
So now we get to our second kill of the movie, in which gay Burt Reynolds is in a blue plaid suit, just has this other girl over.
You mean the guy who I thought was Robert Englund for like a millisecond? when he's in the dark, I was like, oh, they got you in this too?
No, sir. It just was Will Ferrell doing a character. Are you the hooker?
It's like, I know it gets rough after the 3rd film, Robert, but just hold on.
So, we're introduced to this guy, and he's like, what's in that suitcase? And she's like, 24 inches of fun. And he's kind of like taken back, but kind of like, oh my.
That's when I'd be like, check please. I'll see you later.
So what he proposes to her is that he's selling nude calendars to little leaguers?
Little leaguers and church groups is what he says. He says they love them.
And I couldn't tell if it was like serious or he was like John Lovett's like, yeah, that's the ticket.
No. He meant it 100%. He's selling those
He's like,
to children.
yeah, I'm selling the calendars for the little leaguers. And she's like, okay.
I do want to help out the church.
So this is the part where I think you turn to me as they do, like she's doing a photo shoot and they pan up on her, and it was like, oh, thank God she's wearing panties.
yeah. I really thought we were gonna have like a showgirls like butthole moment on our hands and be like, this is again subverting my expectations. Film.
Yeah, because I wrote, this is the part where I'm feeling a little sleazy inside.
This movie would be like 25 minutes long tops if they took out the like 10-minute long strip teases that we get in between each kill.
Yeah, so she beats this guy in with a baseball bat, puts him inside the tub.
Presumably only cuts his head off. Which again comes back to our question: how many human fingers are inside the body? Because she slashes his head, and the first thing to come out is the fingers. The finger blood guy was having a hell of a day on this shoot of this film.
How many fingers you want? 50. How many kills we got? 3. All right,
we bought all these fingers at Spirit in the checkout aisle. We gotta use them.
Spirit's bag o' fingers. So, Jack is looking for Linnea Quigley, right?
Yes.
Who is playing Samantha now? Samantha Kelso, who is the sister of Ashton Kutcher. And sorry, I had to.
Yeah, I know. And she's dancing on this beautiful set that is very clearly just a wall with streamers stapled to it. Because later in this scene, when she finishes her dance, it's almost as if she was so into the character and so into the scene that she forgot that there is no backstage area behind her, because she turned around and like touched the wall and was like, oh shit, like walked back off the screen.
There's a part in here of Jack's narration in which he's trying to find the person that he's looking for in the bar, and he's like, she didn't say anything about herself except she had headlights that were great.
I turned to John and I said, what if you walked in there and she was wearing those headlight glasses that Pee Wee Herman gets in Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
Headlight glasses.
Her headlights are amazing. Okay, I have no idea who I'm looking for in this club now.
Looking for a car.
Oh, there she is.
I don't like an Aztec. They have horrible headlights. So, and he's showing people pictures at the bar, right? As if like people, like he goes, you ever seen a picture of a girl? You ever seen a picture of a chainsaw?
Hey, do you know what's a real good way to get yourself killed while investigating a crime? It's to go to a seedy place and be like, you seen this girl that's missing that I think you guys are responsible for?
Wait, what was this place? It was like
hideout.
A bar, strip club, but also like did prostitution.
It's a one-stop shop for all your needs. And they also don't pour drinks, apparently, because when he goes to the bar to that, like Mr. Limpet's fish bartender, he says, yeah, I'll have a bourbon with a bourbon chaser. And he just like reaches behind the counter and pulls out an already poured bourbon to give to him. It's like, oh, fuck. The person that got that threw up on the bar and left, and you put it behind the counter.
Yeah, these are pre-made. We're not allowed to serve after 8 o'clock. That's when the 21-year-olds are in here. Sorry, no. It's okay. Samantha says that she's 21. Right?
Yeah.
I love that scene, too, because she's like all on top of me, and I love that he pulls a Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, I'm going to need to see some identification.
Except unlike Cliff Booth in that movie, he's like, nah, fuck it. This will hold up in court. So Mercedes says to Jack at this bar, she goes, Jack, I'm going to fuck your brains out. Right? Which again was like, Jesus Christ, this movie's bold.
Yeah, and Jack's like, all right, let's go. like he has this like thing about him where he's just like, yep, everybody, you got nice titties.
Honestly, I probably will die, but I'll die doing what I love.
Right?
Fuck him. It's just like...
So he sees Linnea, Samantha, and she could knock me over with a pubic hair.
Yeah, what the fuck? You know that subreddit, brand new sentence? That could go in there right there. No one's ever said that shit before. Every time something wild was said in this, I kept thinking back. I was having like Vietnam War flashbacks to the credits where it said script was like redone and like made better by like these two people, and I was like, those are the guys who did this. This was a serious crime noir before they got it. Written by the team at Brazzers.
I felt like this. I felt like I was like this whole movie. I was like, holy shit! I'm watching a Burning Angel movie right now. So at this point, he's watching Linnea dance, and he's like mesmerized by her, and I'm like, why? Like, to be honest, like she's just dancing like somebody who, like, they were like, don't worry, we'll insert the extras. Like, you're at a party and you're dancing just with extras around you. We'll insert them later. Like, this is just like, man-na-na-na, and back and
We're
forth.
actually getting you a dance double. It's cool. Get someone else in there.
Yeah, like, but he's just like,
Yeah.
Like,
I've never seen someone dance like a kid waiting to go to the bathroom.
So now Samantha runs off stage, and Jack gets drugged by Mercedes and taken back to, I guess, the hooker hideout.
He does say one of my favorite lines in the movie, I should have had my eyes on the glass and not on your ass, and then hits his head on the table.
Before this, Jack tries to call, I guess, the police hotline.
Yeah, and he's so 1940s that he won't go into a regular phone booth. This bar has a thematic phone booth for him to call in. that is the voicemail message is great. I'm gonna change my voicemail message to that one. I'm just like, and if you've committed a homicide recently, like, just what did they say? Like,
please stay on the line.
Yeah.
We would love to talk to you.
Yeah, and if you're currently being a victim of a homicide, it's like, whoa.
I mean, that's just LA.
Feels like when you call the police, like, just hold on.
Thank you for holding. Your murder is very important to us.
You are currently murder victim 765 in the queue.
So, Mercedes drugs Jack and brings him back to the hooker hideout, and this is where we meet Orson Welles,
fresh off his champagne commercial.
Hey, I'm gonna finish it. Don't worry. Don't pay around. What am I drinking? Don't worry about it.
I'm glad we finally meet the pervert in the bushes that's been in the most of this film.
I would have loved if we never did.
Yeah, he's just like, and at the end of the movie, it's like, yeah, we caught him, and then right on the radio, it's like, yeah, we also caught the bushwhacker.
So, Gunnar Hansen is playing Orson Welles in this film, and he's doing a great job, let me tell you. But he's this cult leader that we find out that the cult itself worships chainsaws.
Yeah.
Right? And worships the sacrificial rite of, like, killing somebody with a chainsaw. And then I love the part where Jack chimes in and says, let me guess, so that you can, like, live for another 100 years. And that's to me, that's the most genuinely funny moment in the movie, where he's like, how do you know about this?
I was also sitting over there being like, fuck, man, he's doing his job. He's doing our job for us, because he says we worship the chainsaw. Or he's like, yeah, the chainsaw is a god, and he's like, who do you worship, Black and Decker? I was like, damn, man,
it's hard enough to write jokes. Come on,
leave some for the rest of us.
So Mercedes proceeds to get on top of Jack. Was it Mercedes or was it somebody else? I don't know. That's when they have the hair that's all the same. But
it's caveman, yeah. It's, Jesus Christ.
She carves I guess is like the Rocky Horror lips into him.
I thought it was the Sawyer family crest, so that they're when they pull up to their house, they'll know that it's time to kill him.
So she carves that into him, but then proceeds to lick him, and I'm like, God damn it, Mercedes! Do you want AIDS? That's how you get AIDS.
Has anyone in this film ever heard of a bloodborne pathogen? Because they're like down with blood in their mouth.
So now they run out of gas. They have to go to the store. Samantha reveals herself to be actually a person who is out for revenge for this cult.
Hey, not doing a good job.
No, she was going to go through with the entire thing before Jack showed up.
Well, she was also later on when he's like, oh yeah, your friend was murdered, and she's like, yeah, they're gonna use me for their sacrifice. It's like, where did your plan end? Were you just gonna be like, now I can be dead too?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Your plan wasn't to join the hookers?
Yeah. You're not doing a good job of any other plan.
I could never sell my body for sex.
It's like, but I will for a virgin sacrifice.
And this is where Jack tells her that he's like, it's okay, you can come home now. Your mom kicked your stepdad out. She's like, oh, what? He was cool. Like, I've seen that porn too. So this is where we get like really cool lines like, your girls are nothing but high-powered vacuum pumps. Yeah. And hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres.
Like, oh, girls, like, don't there isn't there some hors d'oeuvres back at the cave?
This is where I got really confused and was like scratching my head, because I swear to God, didn't Orson Welles say take him to the sacrifice? And then he left the room, they're like, fuck it, we're gonna kill him and fuck him. It's like, what the fuck?
Nobody listens.
No, they're like, yeah, fuck that guy. We got a better plan up here.
It won't matter. Like, we'll still live 100 years. Let's go. We killed a lot of Johns this week. Business was a booming.
So this is when Jack headbutts Sam, and if you unlike us didn't read the IMDb trivia on the film, he did this for real.
Yep.
They could not get it right after shooting it over and over again, that he was just like, fuck it, bam, and like actually headbutt her. Both of them were not hurt, and they were just like, cool, we got the shot, and they like left. Yep. But I guess this is a good time also to talk about this. The reason that they had to do shit like that is this movie was filmed in 5 days.
5 days.
5 days from beginning to end shooting this film, and we'll get to it eventually. Yeah. But the body paint that Linnea Quigley gets took 7 hours to put on, so that's
like a tenth of the production.
Listen, guys, we only have the equipment for 5 minutes a day. We got to crank this film out.
So this is where Jack and Samantha get it on. Right?
After being like, yeah, it's cool, you're 21, I guess.
And his actual girlfriend walking in on him and being like, private dick, huh? There's no such thing in Hollywood.
Which is like, I think he came out on top on that one there. Like, cool, it's over.
This is also where Samantha describes, I don't know about you, but like, how many times can you get chainsawed? Because she goes, my friend was chainsawed 5 times.
Yeah, it's like, do you mean cut? Do you mean like she was touched with the chainsaw a couple times? Like, I would say getting cut up 5 times is being chainsawed once. It's like on the chart of being chainsawed, it can't be done more than once unless they put you back together and did it again.
I guess you could have one like fall on your leg, like Texas Chainsaw 1.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'm sure he's been chainsawed at least once per movie.
I get. Okay. She was chainsawed 5 times, and her face was. And I was like, okay, are you going there? Because we all know that's Gunnar Hansen. Are you going there? You going? No, you're not. All right. Oh, cool. We'll just talk about how her eyeballs were somehow shoved into her jaw, which is like.
I didn't know Orson Welles was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, it's Leatherface's one line right at the end. He just screams Rosebud at the top of his lungs.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, she does talk about how her friend's eyeballs were gouged down into her jaw. And I was like, yeah, not how it works, but that's cool. That's a grisly image there. And then they gave her the Joker treatment, apparently, because they cut a smile in her face. It's like, yeah.
So no, that's Night of the Demons.
Oh yeah,
That's what she looks like in that.
That's right. That's her. Another connection to that.
So now they go to the lair with a sign that says "Temple this way."
It's so good. This whole temple sequence is so fucking good because it was like they finally were like, yeah, people know what this is about. It's like,
well, because it's like temple this way. There's a sign that says "Keep going, you're almost there," and then there's another sign like "Please wait here until your name is called." Like, I love the idea that they're just a waiting room like of cultists. Like, are you a hooker? Yes. Okay. Are you okay with killing Johns? Yes. Okay. Okay, you're good.
Thanks for taking the checklist. We'll call you when your number's drawn.
This was the original thing that people had to do for Dr. Sleep to live 100 years.
I do love that it's almost as if they were like, fuck, we rented these cats from outside a jewelry store. We gotta use them in the movie. So Jack still, in the heat of all this, needs to let everybody know that they have tremendous tits. Yeah. A man we can trust all the way through the film.
And Samantha spits on Mercedes and she licks it off her. Like, this woman is filthy. I'm sorry.
That shit's pretty gnarly. I thought there was going to be a fight like between like Pumpkin and New York on when she spit in her mouth.
So at this point, the chainsaw, like the ceremony begins. Now, does anybody recognize the lair? What this was? Does anybody know this at all? Does it seem familiar? It is the lair that they go into when they break inside the wall and the hole in House 2. So if anybody's seen House 2, when they break inside the hole and John Ratzenberger is there as the cable guy, and they all go in, and Kane Hodder's like one of the people in the Amazon like sequence. That's this exact same set.
If you would have said any really low rated porn on Pornhub, I would have said yes, you are also correct. They start doing their ceremony in the Indiana Jones ride. And we're going to be in the spike room for a while. I hope no one shakes that pole. It's loud as shit when it goes off.
So now they start doing the ceremony, and then you learn that what they've injected inside Linnea Quigley is motor oil.
Yeah,
she's dead. He's like, why is she so woozy? It's like, we've given her the blood of the gods, and then they're like, behold, the blood of the gods, motor oil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's got like 5 minutes to live.
Tops. But when they were all drinking the motor oil, I just kept thinking about that chick on My Strange Addiction who was like addicted to like drinking gas straight out of the hose at the gas station. She'd like, I just get a little taste on my lips.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's sad. That is sad. Drinking gasoline? Jesus Christ.
Anything to get a thrill.
Thrill me. So...
It was diesel. That's an expensive snack.
So first they have a fire act in which there's an entire like stadium cheering her on.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on there?
And then after that we have the Virgin Dance of the Double Chainsaws.
I thought this was gonna be way cooler than it was.
Thank you.
The Virgin Twirl with 2 chainsaws.
The Virgin Hustle. Because that's how I feel what happened. Right? Like, it was just like just her swaying chainsaws.
Also, there's no fucking way it took 7 hours to put that body paint on.
It does not take Gene Simmons that long to put on face makeup. But it's weird because like you would want it to be something, even if it's a body double, like do something. Like, we're here at the climax. Like, it was cool, but it was just like and pose. It was like a runway model, like doing chainsaw poses.
That's the Versace show next year. It's going to be all the models have chainsaws.
And I get it. Like, she's not really...
Well, they're real chainsaws, too. It did say that in the trivia was that the chainsaws were actually moving in that scene, so I'm sure she was like, "Oh fuck, shit!"
And that's a question that I would have asked her if she was here. Is like, how heavy were they? Like, could you even lift them like one-handed above her?
Chainsaws are heavy as fuck.
I know,
that must have been
right.
hard in her
I'm
arms.
being
too.
hard on her.
Being
You're
like,
right.
"Oh shit!" Like, you don't want to be trembling.
Okay, but I needed something.
Someone who was here 2 days ago said that she juggled the chainsaws. I don't know who the fuck told me that, but they set me up for disappointment on that one.
What movie was that?
I don't know. We need to go back and find that one.
That's the third one, Hollywood Chainsaw Jugglers. Which I want to talk about whatever that sequel would have been.
Yeah, because that did not happen.
For sure. So yeah, she does the dance, and then we cut away to like these like married couple cops that are fighting for no reason.
This film is so progressive, putting the first buddy married couple cops on the screen for us to see as they bicker about what they're going to eat when they get home, basically. He's like, "Oh, my Volkswagen would have been faster." He's like, "The next time, take your Volkswagen!"
So Linnea kills Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Then proceeds to have...
someone else over here saw it too. The blood direction of killing Orson Welles is very confusing because it's like, all right, since the camera's on Linnea, the blood will go the correct direction, and then now that it's on Orson Welles, throw it on him as well. It's like, yo, it can only go one direction off the chainsaw. We need to figure it out.
It was pretty much all over the place, but I mean, it was kind of the fun of like the climax. It's just like go for it. But then she proceeds to have a chainsaw duel in which I guess there was a lot of paparazzi around them while they were doing the chainsaw. Because what are these photo sounds?
Yeah, every time the chainsaw's touch, it's like click, 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 click. Yeah, it's like waiting for the Polaroid to come out, like shaking it, and they're like, "All right, don't touch the chainsaws together yet." But Jonathan and I were talking. If you were underwhelmed by the chainsaw fight, we would like to let you know that in January we are doing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 live at the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana. That's our plug for it. It felt like an appropriate time.
Would you like to see a better fight?
Would you like to see Dennis Hopper go fucking nuts?
Watch any movie he does. I want the Mario Brothers.
Yeah, bring it down.
So yeah, the movie just kind of, for me, unceremoniously ends with two people making out, but in the blood of other people.
Again, bloodborne pathogens. You guys, come on. At least be like, "Hey, Chief, can you bring us a moist towelette so I can dry off?"
And then we have a voiceover. He's like, "I think I'm hiring her as my secretary," or something.
Yeah, he's like,
kind of like, "All right, great. Are we done?" All right, cool. Smile, darn you, smile. So that's it. And then it says that student chainsaw nurses, bad to the bone, will be coming at some day. Now, what do you think that would be?
This movie, but in a school instead. Like, nothing's different. Like, they just changed the cast. They, like, rotated. Everyone gets to play the Linnea part all through the sequels. All 4 people, so they're only gonna make 5 total.
Oh, so Vice Academy.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, yes.
So that's all we had to say about it.
In the 4th one, they chainsaw fight, right? And then they put this like skull on a thing, and it turns out it's aliens, and then everyone's like fucking pissed.
So I'm gonna reach out to the audience and see if they had any things. There's like, what the hell was up with that, and questions. But when you ask your questions, say your name, what you think Hollywood Chainsaw 2 would be about, and your question. So does anybody have anything that they think we didn't cover tonight?
Or you want to say?
Yeah, you could just make a statement.
I love Speed 2.
Here you go, sir. Here, come on over here. Here,
I thought you were talking to the
mic.
cord for a second.
All right. Yeah, my name's Jimmy. And do you think the ritual didn't work because she wasn't a virgin?
Yeah, I was confused about that too. I like to think it's like Cabin in the Woods type thing, where like Sigourney Weaver was going to come out eventually and be like, "We do what we can."
It's like Ready or Not, but I don't want to spoil it for those who might not have seen it. So if you get the joke, cool.
Yeah. I'm confused about what the ritual was, because they seem very dead set on just killing him, which is like, if that's the ritual, like,
No,
just
they were
be
gonna
like,
kill
all right,
her.
fuck off, out of here.
They were going to kill her, right? She's the virgin. She said she's going to be sacrificed, right? And so she has to do the dance, and then they were going to kill her. He's just an extra, like, sacrifice.
That's where they fucked up.
Right?
What?
Oh, just roar.
I hear what you're saying, like, but I think it was pretty clear that like they wanted a girl, but why? That wasn't clear whatsoever.
Why didn't they just be like, why are we dicking around? And they were just like right there, and be like, yeah, 100 years. It's like, we did it.
Yeah, how many do you need in order to get 100? Like, do you need 100 Johns? Like,
am I gonna look like that for 100 years, or do I get younger?
like Orson?
Yeah. Will I keep getting champagne commercial deals, or will I have to keep trying?
Yeah. Anyone else? Question, sir.
Are you gonna make it?
Oh, wait. What is your Hollywood Chainsaw Hooker 2 idea?
Honestly, I would involve it with more aliens.
Thank you.
Aliens? Because, I mean, they disappear in the end, leaves in a cliffhanger, and they're like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, she's my secretary from now on. So it's like, they don't mention it that after that from then.
This next one, you just wear Nikes and drink Kool-Aid.
This is definitely the
Hollywood Kool-Aid hookers.
the bodies disappearing part is definitely one of the coolest pieces of this movie that they put in, and we're like, nah, fuck it.
I loved it when Obi-Wan disappeared. Yes, sir.
This is more like a what was up, what was up with that? But what you guys missed the small ginger boy in the bar drinking a scotch in the very beginning of the movie, which was super funny.
I did.
I'm like, I got nothing.
Really, there was a child in the bar?
Sit here and drink your whiskey. Mommy's got to work.
That plays. Did he really?
And don't touch Mommy's chainsaw.
I would prefer if you put the juice box in a martini glass. Makes it less weird. That just further plays into everything that I was thinking this entire film of, like, if there ever was just like a representation of a non-union film that you could like show people, like, yeah, this is what you do on non-union. This is it.
So I happened to watch the there's a like, not a special feature, but if you go on YouTube and you just type Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, it's like the fourth clip down maybe. It's an interview that Greg Kinnear was doing this show for the Movie Channel, right? Like before he was a star. And he went to the premiere of this at the Egyptian, right? And he's interviewing everybody, and the title cards of each one of the actresses come up. He gets up to Linnea Quigley, and nobody knew who she was, I guess. And the title card just says, Chainsaw Hooker. I just find it a very interesting tidbit. Like, there's people I don't even know or recognize, and they're getting billing, but he was just like, I don't know who you are.
It also, I know I said it while you were in the bathroom, but like, who the fuck is Dookie Flyswatter? Because I want to meet him for an episode. That is the coolest name. There's Dookie Flyswatter.
My name's Peter.
I don't go by Dookie anymore. That was my father.
He was Mr. Flyswatter.
Please call me Poopy.
He's really sorry for that one.
The other thing that was interesting pieces of trivia from this film is that a lot of the extras in the movies could or could not have possibly been actual sex workers in LA, because they just like literally went on the street and were like, do you want to be in our movie? And they were like, yeah. But the funny story about it was, the people that they pulled off the street to shoot one scene drank all the beer on the set and left. So like everyone's like out of beer and like this is what they have to show for it.
They drank all of our beer, they didn't fuck us.
I'm also very confused.
We paid them hookers.
I'm also very confused where the $25 or $50 million went on this movie.
To the hookers.
I should have known.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. Come on up.
Sorry, too far.
Yeah.
You'll pick up.
I'm Anthony.
Hey, Anthony.
I think the sequel is. I don't think they wrote it. I think they're just going to cross out every time the script says hooker, and then just put student. Like the exact same script. They're like, all right, they're coming for the boobs and the chainsaw.
They're just gonna dub it in. Be like, listen here, student.
But I just wanted to point out, like, I don't think that they've had safety training in a long time in that religious cult, because they just presented this giant bowl of motor oil and then they're like, hey, let's do a fire show right over it. Like, that temple was huge and they're like, yeah, do it right here. Do it right above the motor oil. Yep, that's safe. So,
that's what we call a 5-for-1 sacrifice. If the whole place goes up.
but I was like, yeah, that's not the safest spot to do that. But okay.
Yeah, it's the other thing that I noticed in the movie that was really fun was you could make a drinking game out of it. I think it's like take a shot every time a chainsaw is making noises like it's running, but it is very clearly off. You'll die if you play that one. There's also just like take a shot every time a chainsaw works absolutely the way it does not work.
I think anytime Jack just pontificates like on and on and on.
You have to drink for the entire time that he just
Jesus.
monologues, just like downing a bottle the whole time.
That's why his name's Jack.
Oh,
that's what you go.
fuck.
That's what you drink with it. We should make a drinking game.
Here we
This
go.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, anybody else? You have one more? All right, come on.
Here, I'll give you
All right.
the mic.
Now, what's Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers 3 about?
Honestly, what if, because they never specified who the master was, what if Samantha was supposed to be the master?
Oh.
You know? Like, the third movie, yeah.
Samantha's the master all along?
Maybe the real Samantha was the friends we made along the way. That's She just disappears. She helps Jack's love life back with his ex-girlfriend. She's like, my work here's done.
Every time a bell rings, a hooker gets its wings. It's a Christmas miracle. So, would you recommend this movie?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Totally. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was, like I said, far different than I was expecting. I was expecting, like, to be completely honest, like a really terrible slasher, and I wasn't expecting Naked Gun, the horror film.
Including her, like, wrapping up a giant condom around.
I really thought he was going to be like, I'm not that big, when she pulled that big old tarp out.
That would have been good. That would have been really good. And for anybody who's unfamiliar with how we rate things here on a Jaws scale. So it's anywhere from Jaws 1, which is a masterpiece, to Jaws the Revenge, which we all know is the worst.
Yes.
It has a trickling down
It's an easy
effect.
to understand chart if you know the Jaws films quite well.
So what would you give this?
This is a Jaws 1.
This is a Jaws 1 for you?
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah?
This is quite possibly one of, like, it's going to be like top 3 for me of things that we've covered.
Really?
It hasn't
over Hard Ticket?
It's under Hard Ticket.
Okay.
You got this, Hard Ticket to Hawaii. If any of you haven't seen Hard Ticket to Hawaii, you guys are fucking up big time.
Yeah.
And then Nightmare Beach above this. I love Nightmare Beach. Again, if you haven't seen Nightmare Beach, you're fucking up big time.
Fair. I would. There was just some moments in this for me that kept it from being Jaws worthy, because like once it was given to you of what this was, I just wanted more of it. Right?
You wanted to see the penis fall out of the bag.
Yes.
Give me the dicks.
Like all the penis fish that washed up on shore. So I just wanted I wanted the chainsaw juggling, you know, like I wanted like more of the dueling, or maybe just a different creative way of killing people other than just like chainsaw right through the torso. Like we never got like a hand lopped off. We never got like a head lopped off.
Hey, bud, this movie was made in 5 days.
All right, fair.
That 25 to 50 million went somewhere.
So I was just gonna say Jaws 2. Like it's right there, but it's not like I will watch it all the time. Like if somebody was like, we're putting this on, which I don't know who, like
Christmas at my house. Hey, Mom and Dad, check it out. I'm gonna watch this again because Carly, my wife, was not here, so I'm like, oh,
you should show her.
Oh, she's gonna love it.
So to finish up the show, we usually we wonder, one, what did his wife think, but she's not here and she hasn't heard it, so we'll skip that bit.
Yeah,
but there is one group of people who we have yet to hear from yet, and that's the good old internet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Give Me 5. These are 5 or 10-star reviews pulled from Amazon or IMDb. Tyler finds these reviews. I have no idea what they're going to say. This first one's written by Ben Cheshire in November of 2015, titled "So Good, It's Good." A B-movie masterpiece. Look, I was blown away by this movie. Your expectations should be set pretty low and cheesy according to the title, so I couldn't believe how much exploitation fun this delivered. This goes way above the so bad it's good films. This is clearly satire, intentionally satirical, and it delivers chainsaws, hookers, and a hard-boiled Hollywood crime reporter. Plenty of boobs and blood. Excellent picture quality on the Blu-ray from the Slasher Classics collection in the UK that has clearly not been
that's monkeyed.
It's
a hard word to read.
Because some flaws in the print can be seen, which is terrific. Audio is a bit disappointing, probably because of the low-budget production conditions, but it's pretty muddy and difficult to hear. There's a rockin' soundtrack that still sounds good, though. Overall, amazing. A+++.
I, too, enjoyed when they got to the temple and the guy kept playing the same 4 notes on the sitar.
Why'd you pick this one?
It's, first off, it was hard to find 10-star reviews of this movie, but I always love when I find reviews for you and I for something that is like clearly not going to be like a mainstream thing, and the people who flock to these movies always have one thing to say about them, and it's like, yeah, there was boobs in it, so it's pretty good. It's my upper echelon of film, honestly.
Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers was meant to be seen on the big screen with boobs.
Yeah. If Saving Private Ryan had boobs in it, it'd definitely be in my top 10 films.
So this next one is written by Runyon Bill 757-850042.
Oh, fuck, that's his phone number. Everyone call him about his review.
You found this one on the stall.
Shit. For a good review, call.
This is written last year, 2018. A cinematic masterpiece is the title. I have seen this movie at least once a year for decades now. I even have an annual showing about the middle of June because the story takes place then.
It looked warm.
You coming to the Hollywood Chainsaw? I'm sorry. You coming to the Hollywood Chainsaw Hooker annual barbecue?
I can't keep bringing my kids, Chet.
Because of the story takes place then. After all this time, I still can't get enough of it. It's not the chainsaws or even the boobs, which are magnificent. It's the dialogue. It's brilliant. I write screenplays and novels, and I always come back to this flick as the wellspring of my inspiration. I have yet to get a screen published. No, that's not in there.
Blumhouse is picking up my next 5 films.
Oh, goddamn.
Catch my theatrical release, Black Christmas. I'm sorry, everyone.
I wish I could write something half as good as what they actually wrote. In addition, I love the plot. So original. It really makes you think about whether our imagination laws are
That's his immigration laws. We say that if you think too much, you should be shot.
Oh, okay. Here we go. It really makes you think about whether our immigration laws are too lax or have we let religious freedom go too far. Yes, that bit is from the movie, but I couldn't phrase it better. Was it?
Yeah, he says when he's talking about the cult being let run rampant, he's like, oh, but that's what we have to let religions do because of the religious freedoms in this country.
Well, what about the immigration laws?
Because he says, you guys heard it in the movie, he says that these people are chainsaw immigrants from outside of the country.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, the movie has a weird alt-right message in the middle of it.
That's Machete 3. Machete versus chainsaws.
In space.
Yeah. So now as to the soundtrack, the composer, Michael Bernstein, did a masterful job. It's hypnotic. I even bought it and listened to it in my car. Michael, if you ever read this, I bought your book as well.
I will fuck you.
Sure, there is a special place in heaven for director Fred Olen Ray and his cast and crew. God bless each and every one of you. Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers will live beyond eternity. Thank you, thank you, thank you for making this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, if you had a good time tonight, let me hear you make some noise. Woo! We are Bombs Away. I am Jonathan.
I'm Tyler.
And you can catch us at the Frida Cinema on December 28th doing Jingle All the Way. Come up and talk to us afterwards. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. All right, get out.
This has been a production of Big Bulb Entertainment, executive produced by Jonathan Young. For more media and information, visit us at www.bigbulbentertainment.com. Big Bulb, what's your bright idea?